The Bay Area housing market is off to a fast start. But can this momentum be sustained? Coming up on this week's Silicon Valley Snapshot. This is Danny Gould with the Selling Silicon Valley Group. Welcome, everyone, to another Silicon Valley Market Snapshot for the second week here in February of 2021. My goodness, before we get into the data and the numbers, if you are a home buyer in today's marketplace and you are looking for data to help you with your buying decision, you can text the word data plus the zip code, neighborhood, or area that you're looking in, and we will get that data sent to your inbox. Or if you're looking for a guide to help you with your home buying experience, you can text the word buyer guide for a comprehensive guide to the number down below on how to buy a home here in Silicon Valley. And if you're a home seller looking for a similar guide on how to properly execute your sales strategy, you can text the word seller guide to the number down below. Or if you're looking for data on how to price your particular property, you can text the word data plus your property address, and we will get that sent straight to your inbox. All right, guys, so let's get into the video. And the January numbers for 2021 are finally in, and pretty much exactly the same as December. It's the same story, different month. And really that's unsurprising given where we are in today's market, and given what I expected and what we've talked about in previous videos leading up to this one, is this market isn't going away anytime soon. And what's driving it is the lack of inventory, and the buyer demand that currently exists far outpaces the amount of inventory that's on the market in most counties here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so the housing market is seeing a huge surge in appreciation. We are seeing most neighborhoods appreciate upwards of 10+% within the last quarter alone. I mean, that should be, if you're a home seller, music to your ears. If you're a home buyer, should be agonizing, right? Because a lot of you probably are kicking yourselves for not buying, say, earlier in 2020. And at the end of the day, these are things that you can't predict, right? And so I'm going to go over the numbers, and we'll talk about what to expect here as we're coming up on the spring market, and what you can expect as a home buyer and seller, and my advice for those two parties, for home buyers and for home sellers. So going to Santa Clara County, this is active inventory versus pending and sold inventory. Nothing new here. Inventory continues to remain low at 861 units in the month of January, with 10,036 units pending. So we are seeing a huge discrepancy. And remember, this is predominantly in the single-family sector that we're seeing this discrepancy. When you look at the condo and townhome sector, it's a completely different market. So there's a lot of condo and townhome owners that are struggling, that are not being able to, that have not been able to sell their properties, and that has been a story that has been the case since basically July, June timeframe. Pretty much ever since the shelter in place was first enacted in about March, April, we started to see the condo and townhome market suffer, and that has not changed since then. It got a little better in June, July, and then it started to taper off significantly. So let's see how that continues to play out. That's not just in Santa Clara County, by the way. That is in every single county, pretty much in the entire San Francisco Bay Area. Flipping over to San Mateo County, we don't see that same disparity, where there's actually more homes for sale in the month of January. We had 451 homes on the market and 386 homes pending. Again, if you look at the single family numbers, it's vastly different than it is for the condo and townhome. So that condo and townhome market is dragging down the average. But if you're a single family owner and you're selling your home in San Mateo County, you're doing very well for yourself. And if you're selling your condo or townhome, not so well. Flipping over to San Benito County. Now, obviously, if you've been watching my videos for any period of time, you will know that San Benito has been outperforming its previous year's numbers by not just a little bit, but by a lot. And that continues to be the case here in January. We had 34 homes on the market. Now, look back to a year ago, January of 2020. 77 homes on the market. So the inventory has been cut in half, while the demand has stayed relatively the same at 46 units pending, versus last year we had 51 units. So it's not like the demand is super crazy. This is really a story of low inventory levels. And as long as that continues to be the case, we will continue to see this San Benito market thrive. Another thing to consider is San Benito actually has a lot of new construction right now. And so while these are just existing home sales, these are pre-owned homes, if you will, the new home market is actually drawing in a lot of out-of-towners, a lot of people that are selling their homes, say, in Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, and other parts of the Bay Area, and they're moving down south, and they're going to new construction. So this doesn't even show you the full picture, doesn't paint the full picture. There's still actually way more buyer demand in San Benito County than we've experienced in previous years. It's just that a lot of that buyer demand has been focused and absorbed by the new home sales, not necessarily the existing home sales. So flipping over to San Francisco. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Obviously, if you've been watching my videos for any period of time, you'll know that San Francisco has been suffering for, even before COVID, but really COVID exposed that marketplace in a way that nothing else could have exposed, other than, you know, over half the city's population being told that they no longer need to come into work. And I would say probably even more than half. I don't know what the exact numbers are, so I'm just guesstimating there. But nevertheless, you look at the numbers here in January 2021, we had 822 homes on the market and only 394 homes pending. Look back a year ago to where we were a year ago, and even though we have more homes on the market, we still have significantly more sales too. So we had 300 less homes on the market, 502 last January, and 257 homes pending. So when you compare those, I mean, the ratios are fairly similar. So even though things are wonky, right? They're not terribly off base from where they were a year ago today. Now, at the peak of the impact, say July, August, we see that delta between pending sales and inventory levels in San Francisco. Just that gap was so wide. That gap has started to shrink, and so let's just continue to pay attention to that. By no means is San Francisco out of the woods yet. Maybe the worst is already over, has passed, but there definitely are a ton of opportunities in the San Francisco real estate market right now. If you're looking to pick up some investment properties, don't look at single families. The single family market is alive and well in San Francisco, very strong still. It's just the condos, TICs, and multifamilies that are really feeling the impact still of COVID, particularly when a lot of those properties were rented out before. So anyways, flipping over to Contra Costa County, we see Contra Costa County is the hottest county in the hottest real estate market in the United States of America right now. I feel sorry for any buyer trying to buy a home in Contra Costa County right now, unless you're working with us. Last week, we managed to get not one but two buyers in Contra Costa County into contract on their first offer. So we were up against 15 offers and 25 offers, 15 offers, 25 offers. Both offers got accepted. Our clients won. And both of them had only made one offer with us. Wow, it's amazing what happens when you listen. Now, obviously, I say that because right now it is so difficult to get your offer accepted in Contra Costa County. So it needs to be the perfect storm of great tactics by us, by the agent, and then also ultimately the client's willing to pay what they need to pay. Right. And so between those two things, while we can certainly give all the data in the world, the data doesn't tell the whole story right now in Contra Costa County and a lot of these other counties. Why? Because you're seeing that homes have sold for, you know, 1.2 million in that neighborhood, and you have to pay 1.35 in order to get the house. And to justify that, a lot of people have difficulty justifying that. But what you have to understand is that when you look at the 6-month trajectory of the market, that 135 is right smack dab in the middle of where those homes are going to end up. that $1.2 million home will be worth $1.5 million. And mark my words, there are a lot of people who are having a tough time, a really, really tough time digesting this and comprehending this. And to those people I say, you're either going to get a home this month and you're going to capitalize on the appreciation that takes place over the next 3 to 4 months before the market tapers off, or you'll be sitting there at the end of that run, and you'll be able to buy what once was 1.2 million will now be worth 1.5. And so your purchase power just got reduced significantly, not just a little bit, but significantly. And so these are things that you need to take into consideration, because you're either going to pay now. It's like I've been saying this a lot lately. You're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later. Which one do you prefer? And the naysayers at home, congratulations. You can continue to naysay all you want. The market's not going anywhere. The market is not going anywhere. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. And if you're telling yourself differently, you're lying to yourself. Flipping over to Alameda County. Now, Alameda County is a little bit different than Contra Costa, more similar to Santa Clara County. Still, that disparity is there. I mean, 792 homes on the homes pending versus 640 homes for sale, and so definitely we're still seeing that delta, right, between homes on the market versus homes sold. That is a driving force behind the rapid appreciation in Alameda County. Still nowhere near where it is in Contra Costa. It's like, oh my God, Contra Costa is in a league of its own right now. In a lot of ways, it deserves to have its own snapshot, because right there's just so much to dissect. But really, that is a direct result, and Alameda too, in some ways as well. Those two counties, what's happening there in the East Bay is a direct result of work from home. People flocking from their tiny apartments and smaller homes in the peninsula, and deciding that they no longer need to be close to, or to be that close to work, because for the foreseeable future they don't need to be commuting in. And I think there is some validity to this blended approach, where a lot of these companies will, for the foreseeable future, require coming in like maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. And so people start to do the math and the ROI on their time, and they're like, okay, well, I could spend an extra 6 hours a week in traffic as opposed to like 12, if they're going in every day, to get that better house, to get the bigger yard, to get the picket fence. Unfortunately, everyone's thinking the same thing at the same time. Well, unfortunately for home buyers, right? So when everyone gets the same idea, well, what happens, right? And at the same time, the inventory levels are not helping the buyers right now. So what does the rest of this spring market look like for home sellers? Well, for home sellers, it's pretty straightforward. If you have a single family home, price your property aggressively, meaning put it a little bit below market value and let the market ride it up $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. That's the market that we're in. Very common to see properties right now selling for over $250,000 of where they're originally listed at. We're going to make an offer yesterday on a property in Pleasanton. The property, the similar home in the neighborhood, sold for $1.4 million. They listed it at $1.45. The winning offer apparently was over $1.71, which is $260,000 over list price. Unbelievable. So there are a lot of examples like that. So for home sellers, if you're a single family owner, the next 2 months, guaranteed, going to be very frothy for you. Do not be the seller that tries to time the market perfectly, and you're like, okay, well, exactly on May 7th, I will list, because at this point, the apex, it's like we don't know when that end is going to come. I would be cautious and not gamble, because at some point this market's going to neutralize, and it's not like the prices are going to go down significantly to the point where a lot of these buyers are going to be able to get better deals than they would be, say, right now. The difference is that instead of having the advantage as a home seller by having very little competition in terms of other homes that are on the market, you are going to be faced with more competition and less buyers per listing, it means that you're going to have less leverage when negotiating with home buyers. And that generally results in a longer time on the market. And it's just a more agonizing process. So why do that to yourself? If you're a home seller for a condo townhome, you really need a data set to help guide you to price your property. Again, you can text the word data plus your property address. We can get that information sent out to you. Right now, pricing strategy matters more than ever when it comes to selling your condo and townhome. If you're a home buyer in today's market, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, what did I get myself into? If you're buying a condo townhome, chances are you're going to be okay. You're not going to have to necessarily be competing against 40 offers and have to pay hundreds of $1,000s over list price. Very rare. If anything, you'll be up against 3-4 offers maybe and on the really desirable condos and townhomes right now. And you might have to write, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over list price. And that will generally get you the house, assuming that it's listed a little bit below market value. Now, of course, every situation is different. So that's why you need data to kind of help guide you and market comparables so that you understand where the market's going.
You own a home, but you want to buy a new one. But before you can do that, you need to sell your current home. The Selling Silicon Valley Group makes it easy. We will get you an all-cash offer for your current home to take it off your hands and give you the money to buy your new home. You move when you're ready. We don't really need your house, so we'll put it on the market and work to sell it for full market value at the highest possible price. The best part is, if and when the home sells for more than what we paid you, we send you a check with the difference. You can get the full market value of your old home, and you get to move into your dream home on your schedule by yourself without the hassle, with the Selling Silicon Valley Group's exclusive trade-in program.
If you're buying a single-family home right now, pretty much anywhere in the Bay Area, you're in for a treat, right? So you really owe it to yourself, if you're in that stage, to contact me and my team. The results speak for itself. We've got every single buyer this year that has made an offer with us, that's got their offer accepted, only made one offer with us. We have four homes pending right now. All four of those. 4 buyers pending right now, and all 4 of those buyers only wrote one offer with our team. And we're all up against double-digit offers. I don't say that to brag. I say that because there is a strategy behind all that, right? And right now, you're either a winner, right? And the winner's the one who gets the house, or you lose. And then you see that same home that you made an offer on be the new comparable. Right, so in that example that I was telling you before, that 171 number in Pleasanton, right, that is the new comparable, which means that the next buyer will pay upwards over 175 to get that house. Same house. Do you see what starts to, you see the trends, right? I know that people have a tough time acknowledging it and comprehending it and how is this even possible? And I would never pay that much. I've been hearing that since the day I got my real estate license. And there are some buyers who have been working with my team or working with us since within the first year of me getting my real estate license, and they're still waiting for the market to crash. I'm waiting for the market to crash, and I'm waiting for the market to crash. And guess what? The house that they've been looking at, a lot of them, the prices have nearly doubled since they said that. There's no way. Do you see where that logic starts to fail you? If you watch my videos for any period of time, you'll know that I'm very, very opinionated when it comes to how amazing these low interest rates are for the long term, right? If you're buying a property right now, you can't think of it as a short-term investment. You got to think about it from the long game. And right now, the long game, you're setting yourself up for supreme success. Low rates means you can afford to hold on to that home longer by getting a renter in there after you vacated that property and start to build generational wealth by building your real estate portfolio. I'm not going to continue going down that path, but honestly, guys, it just makes too much sense to me. And people that are sitting at home kind of counting their pennies and being penny wise and dollar dumb, frustrating. But again, for those of you that are watching this video and heed my advice, good for you. And that's what these videos are for, is even if I can help one person see the light, that's all that matters. So anyways, guys, Thank you so much for staying here till the end of the video. Again, if you're a home seller in today's marketplace, you're looking for a guide to help you with your Silicon Valley home sales experience, you can text the word seller guide to the number down below. You're a buyer in today's marketplace, looking for a comprehensive guide to kind of answer some of those questions, like how do we buy a house? Like what are the steps? Especially if you're a first-time home buyer, it's very important. You can text the word buyer guide to the number down below. This is Danny Gould, everyone, with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and I will catch all of you in the next video.